내게 미안하지만은 not sorry. 오늘부터 나 bitch 나는 solo girl. I'm a girl, I'm only a girl now. I'ma do it on my own now. Girl, I'm a girl, I'm only a girl now. I'ma do it on my, I'ma do it.
Hello and welcome to my second dance ranking video. I had so much fun with the last one that I decided to make this one as well. Today I'll be focusing on Everglow and analyzing each member's dancing skills. Before we move on, here's a quick disclaimer. Everglow is a fairly strong group when it comes to dancing, and someone being lower on the list does not mean they are a bad dancer. I am ranking the members based on their dancing and nothing else. With that out of the way, let's get started. Irin is about average for an idol who is not in the dance line. Her technique, while not bad, is not as developed as the members above her. Her placements are one of her strong suits. She often has very precise placements, especially through her arms. The issue with her technique, though, is that she often underdances quite a bit. She lacks the power that is required for certain dances, and while she may be positioned correctly, she doesn't always complete moves to their fullest extent. Irin's isolations are pretty good. Her lower body isolations are definitely a bit better than her upper body isolations. I mean, have you seen her drop in dun dun? Sometimes when moving her shoulders a lot, she can look a bit stiff and awkward. Irin has okay stage presence. Her facial expressions tend to dwindle when she isn't center. However, she serves looks when she is center. She excels more during smoother parts of dances, which can lead to her not being quite as sharp as she could be. Overall, Irin is at an okay spot right now, and I'm sure she'll improve even more in the future. Ashe is a fairly good dancer for a member who isn't in the dance line. Her technique is okay and her angles are fairly good. Ashe has very good isolations in her torso. There are many torso-focused moves in Dun Dun and Ashe performs all of them very well. She also tends to find a good balance between fluidity and sharpness. However, when she is dancing with a sharper style, she can look stiff at times. She also puts a lot of power behind her moves, and sometimes this causes her to execute a move a bit too much, which diminishes her technique. This form of overdancing can cause her placements to be off, as she is focusing more in the intensity of the move and less in the precision of the move. Ashe's stage presence is very good. Whether she's on the edge or in the center, her facial expressions are always top-notch. She has a natural swagger to her movements and her sultry expressions match this very well. Ashe is very tall. In fact, she is one of the tallest female K-pop idols. This means that she may have to overdo moves in order to fully complete them due to her longer limbs. This can lead to inconsistency and diminish her technique. Ashe's dancing is not bad by any means. However, there could be improvement in some areas. Irin is a very interesting dancer. She is incredibly graceful due to her background in Chinese dance. She has a very elegant feel to her presence and is extremely fluid. Her technique is well off, but it is a bit lacking. Due to her extreme fluidity, she sometimes struggles with sharper dances and isolations, such as Dun Dun. She has been improving, though, and her sharper isolations have been getting better since debut. Irin's placements, while generally correct, are inconsistent. Sometimes she'll rush one move and not fully complete another in the same performance. However, Irin's biggest strength lies with her stage presence. Irin is a great idol dancer and a great center. The energy she brings to the stage is undoubtedly strong, and she radiates excitement when she's performing. Even when she isn't center, her facial expressions are very consistent and energetic. After all, she was voted #1 visual center in Produce 48 for a reason. Irin is by far the most flexible member of Everglow and one of the most flexible idols I have ever seen. Due to her extreme flexibility, Irin will have an easier time executing moves that would be challenging for a less flexible idol. Irin's hands are also very pretty. She uses her hands quite a lot to help convey her fluidity and her grace on stage. Overall, while her technique during sharper dances may be lacking, her stage presence more than makes up for it. Andhe is a hidden gem when it comes to Everglow's dance line. During Bon Bon Chocolate her dancing didn't stand out to me very much, but after I saw her fancam for Adios I knew she was deserving of the lead dancer title. In my opinion Andhe has the technique of a main dancer. Her technique is close to if not on par with the members above her on this list. Her isolations are very developed and her placements are well thought out and precise. Andhe's lower body isolations are especially good, and she is able to balance precision and fluidity very well. Sometimes her arm movements can look a bit awkward, as she has quite long, skinny arms. When she makes very large movements, she may overcompensate with her arms a bit. However, this isn't an issue that comes up consistently. Although she has the technique of a main dancer, her stage presence is lacking. When she isn't center, her expressions can often be very static and plain. Her stage presence does improve when she is center. However, there's still something missing. Andhe's neck movements caught my eye. The way she positions her neck and head while dancing are very precise and executed perfectly. Overall, I think Andhe fits very well into the lead dancer position. EU is a very good main dancer. Her technique is very well off and she has very sharp isolations, especially in her hips. She brings an intensity with her to the stage and her movements convey that very well. However, sometimes this intensity leads to movements that may be too sharp. Sometimes, EU has issues separating the smoother and sharper moves, causing her to occasionally look stiff. EU's legs movements, though, especially stood out to me. Because she is shorter, she often has to dance in very high heels. I think this has led her to have very developed skills with her legs because her placements are so precise. EU has what I call fierce hands where her fingers are very extended in order to convey intensity and power. Her stage presence is also extremely well off. She brings power and sass to every performance. Her expressions usually say strong even when she isn't center. However, she does lack a bit of versatility. While she can perform brighter sounding songs, sometimes her expressions look a bit forced compared to the darker songs she performs. Overall, EU is a very well off dancer that is deserving of her main dancer title. There's a reason Mia got the dance break in Dun Dun. She's a fantastic dancer that always pulls off the choreo she's given. Mia's technique is the best in Everglow. She has very sharp movements and very clean isolations, especially in her shoulders and chest. The big difference between Mia and EU is that Mia is better at balancing sharpness and fluidity in her dances. She knows exactly when to have more fluid movements and how to pull them off. This dichotomy is shown very well during her part right before the end of the chorus in Dun Dun. Her angles are all precise and she is also very flexible. Mia is, in my opinion, the best performer in Everglow. Her facial expressions are out of this world and her presence on stage is no joke. However, her facials sometimes dwindle when she isn't center. When her facials start to deplete she tends to get this very intense look on her face, which works with Everglow's concept, but it's a bit static. Sometimes this can make it look like she's overthinking a bit, but it usually isn't an issue. Mia's dancing becomes even more impressive when you look at her stability on stage. With the amount of lines she gets, you would expect her to look fatigued at the end of performances, but she is consistent enough that this isn't a problem for her. Mia is also very versatile. She can slay cute concepts like Everglow's cover of Fancy while also killing girl crush concepts. Mia never underdances or overdances. As I said before, she's a very balanced dancer, and I believe that makes her the best in Everglow.
They give me